Good afternoon, everyone. Puerto Rico, the largest jet ever seen, seems the global electric circuit showing amplification from ground to atmosphere. China's corn imports rising 221%. COP26 just around the corner in Glasgow. You won't hear about the rebounding Greenland ice, nor the Arctic ice extent nowhere near the bottom. Antarctic sea ice extent above normal the entire winter. You're only going to hear about the melting right now going into spring. But 2020 above average the entire melt season. Record cold, record heat in Australia. Which one do you think the media is going to run with? Weight loss is scientifically proven to be most difficult once we reach middle age. This is because after age 20, our body's metabolism slows down 4% every decade. We experience a 10% drop in our metabolism by the time we're 50. That's the reason why age is so strongly correlated with weight gain. That's why I recommend Adapt with Keto. Thousands of Americans report losing weight, slimmer stomachs, toned muscles, and reduced cravings within days of taking this product. It works in a similar fashion to how the popular keto diet works, which melts fat, tones your muscles, and reduces cravings. Opening another bag, that's why I recommend Adapt with Keto.com. Try it today for 51% off by going to adaptwithketo.com. That's adaptwithketo.com. Or you can click on the link in the description box below. And now on with the video. Starting off here in Puerto Rico, signs in the skies. Blue jets, electric sprites, ground to sky lightning all increasing as changes on our star ripple through the solar system. Interesting thing about this display, if you zoom in, you can find what would appear as apparitions that are on the canyon walls across our world. Now, the global electric circuit is where we're looking. The electromagnetic connection between ground, atmosphere, and space. There are changes now of discharge where these plasma events are able to hold state longer and increase in size. We're seeing changes on all the planets in the solar system, so why would ours be any different? The aurora coming out of mineral composition and veins of minerals in Mars was the latest anomaly of glowing materials in the atmosphere. And you can zoom in on the imagery here. If you want to get incredibly detailed high resolution, you need to go to the Vimeo news release photos of this event. Over to Polar Portal Service Mass Balance. On the one-year total, September 2020 to August 31st, 2021, a full season has run its course on Greenland. That May-June spike that was up to 13.7 gigaton increase. They need to bring the chart up a little larger there. Wouldn't really follow the narrative of ice loss if they had increased the gains on the chart. But you look, the rank 28 out of 41. That does not seem like it's melting into infinitum that we need to destroy our economies. But that's just me looking at the data here. Left all the links in the description box below. Coming into COP26, you're not going to see this on your local news. Arctic ice extent. You can see the dashed line there, 9/29, September 29th, a few days back. End of the melt season, officially gaining ice once again. So even at the low at the bottom of the melt season this year, we're looking at about 9 other years that were lower than this year. And staying in the Arctic Circle, snowing in Alaska already. And you say, wow, it always snows in Alaska. So I was curious, how much snow is this? Record territory. Only 2 events in the last 70 years for a combined total of 1.6 inches. But this will put it in the record books as the earliest snow on record, matching or eclipsing the September 24th, 1981 previous record. But I thought snow was a thing of the past. Guess we'll have to update that. Other anomalies. King salmon, this comes off Alaska weather, low temperature record for the 5th consecutive day, breaking low after low after low. Low temperature of 13 degrees Fahrenheit, 10.6 degrees Celsius below zero. New September monthly record, cutting through the old record of 15 degrees Fahrenheit. That's a 2-degree cut on that. One day, one new record, maybe. But 5 consecutive days, that's something anomalous that should be looked at. And here are a bunch of other articles that I've put links to, but as a combined total of what we're seeing in the Northern Hemisphere starting so early and so ferociously, and the Southern Hemisphere continues to drag on with its winter. Record cold temperatures, record snow still inbound for the next at least 14 days, which should be heading into deep spring and warming. We got record-breaking cold up in Europe. Climbers being caught off guard with the snows. We saw this trekking season in India a couple of years ago, but now it's happening in multiple places in Europe, Russia. And then the Vostok Station, just 0.6 away from the coldest October temperatures ever recorded. So again, near records, Southern Hemisphere, breaking records, Northern Hemisphere. Arctic front engulfing Europe, heavy September snow. Western U.S. didn't get much media coverage. Subtropical Queensland, rare spring snows. And fast forward a few more days, September 30th, rounding out the month, UK suffering freezing lows, rare September snows, early season snowstorms in Iceland. We had that subtropical low rolling up, dropping 3 to 5 feet of new snow on Greenland. Just a lot of anomalies in the atmosphere. And we see it again, trekkers in northern India unprepared for the surprise snows. And I mentioned the Southern Hemisphere, Antarctic sea ice extent. I circled in red there where this year, 2021, the sea ice extent was well above the averages through the entire winter. Seems to have turned right now and still within the ranges, but tapering off here coming into the melt season. Now notice 2020, last year, it was the inverse, where now when it was tapering off into the melt season, the gains last year were well above the average all through the summer and even through the Southern Hemisphere autumn. Flip of the switch. And here's something interesting for Tasmania, September 22nd, October 8th. How much snowfall? This is being measured in centimeters, so 15 centimeters, about half a foot, 6 inches. Incredibly rare this time of the year. But staying down in Australia, cold fronts are going to continue to pummel the central and southern coastlines of the continent, heading well inland, far to the east coast as well, clear up into the 15th, 16th, and 17th of the month. But where you're going to get this record cold that's approaching 20 to 25 degrees Celsius below normal temperatures as late as October 12th and 13th. But then you'll have the record heat out west. You know where the media is going to focus the attention. Because COP26 then will be just days away. Over to South America, where China is depending so much on harvests that are not coming this year due to incredible cold and wipeout for the second corn crop in different agricultural zones. We see incredible cold approaching through Brazil and Argentina once again this late in the season. October 6th, and I linked everything down to tropical tidbits so you can continue to do your own research and then take out with these forecast models and see where the areas of extreme cold are going to affect agricultural production this year as they head into spring. The reason I brought up South America is China's corn imports rose more than double, 221%. China's in a hurt right now with the food. All the campaigns that they're trying with the Clean Plate campaign and one dish per person at a table and all the resorting to rationing, it still is not enough. The floods last year, the floods this year, the transportation woes, and I just don't know how they're going to get the corn in with all the transportation and logistics bottlenecks and nightmares that are going on. How many ships are sitting off the coast of China and the United States to unload? Your consumer goods will sit offshore, but the food's magically going to make it to the front of the line, if at all available. So what do you do when your population's hungry and you need a distraction? Well, while you're thinking about this, you might want to consider some storable foods. My Patriot's Plan Adapt 2030, 3-month emergency food supply, 25-year shelf life. Give yourself the peace of mind knowing you have storable foods. Then in an emergency, you can stay home and avoid the chaos. That link's in the description box below, along with all of the links to tonight's images, stories, and content. I do thank you for watching. Hope you got something out of the video, and I'll see you next time.